Christian's there.
Make sure we're light. Right here. You can form a line behind him. I'll be off. Thank you.
Good.
Try not to trooper to hide anyone.
That's fine.
I'm live already. So whenever you
Good. Good afternoon. Today marks 100 days since the Reading Police Department launched Operation Ceasefire to combat violent crime and specifically gun crimes in our city. Operation Ceasefire was designed as a multi-pronged approach to reducing violence through community engagement, targeted law enforcement operations, and a gun buyback program. While we have experienced a lot of successes since Operation Ceasefire was initiated, recent shooting events in our city remind us that we still have work to do. I want to ensure our community that the Reading Police Department and our partner law enforcement agencies, many of which are represented here today, will not relent in our efforts until these senseless acts of violence are eradicated from our neighborhoods. In 2021, the City of Reading has experienced 13 criminal, non-fatal shooting incidents as of our latest reporting period. That is an over 53% reduction in non-fatal shootings when compared to the same reporting period in 2020. During that same reporting period, there were 6 gun-related homicides, with 5 of those incidents being cleared by arrest. Our targeted law enforcement efforts are being directed with the goal of reducing those numbers even farther. Since the start of Operation Ceasefire, the Reading Police Department and our partner law enforcement agencies, which include the Berks County District Attorney's Office, the Berks County Detectives, their drug and gang task forces, Berks County Adult and Juvenile Probation, the Berks County Sheriff's Office, the Pennsylvania State Police, the FBI, ATF, DEA, U.S. Marshals Service, and Homeland Security Investigations Task Forces have conducted 21 details specifically aimed at reducing gun violence. These details have been intelligence-based operations that were designed to target gang members that have a propensity for violence and locations where violent crimes have been committed. Those targeted operations have been conducted by 437 law enforcement officers who have produced the following results. 27 warrants were served for probation violations, 28 misdemeanor arrests were made, 27 felony arrests were made. 178 traffic stops were conducted, and 84 of which occurred during a recent Pennsylvania State Police SHIELD detail that was performed in the city of Reading. During those details, 80 illegal firearms were also seized. In addition to the firearms seized during the enforcement operations, an additional 91 firearms were recovered during the gun buyback event held on April 24th. Since the start of Operation Ceasefire, 170 firearms have been recovered that will never be used to harm a member of our community. I want to thank our local, state, and federal law enforcement partners that have and continue to dedicate resources to combating violent crime in our city. I also want to thank Mayor Eddie Moran and his administration for his leadership and continuous support of Operation Ceasefire and his dedication to making our city a safer place. Finally, I want to thank an individual who has been directly responsible for the success of Operation Ceasefire and coordinating all of our supporting agencies and personnel during multiple enforcement operations. Following a meeting with Mayor Moran where we developed our strategy for combating gun violence, I didn't have to take a lot of time to find someone willing and capable of leading our law enforcement operations. Lieutenant Eric Dreisbach from our investigations division stepped up and volunteered to coordinate our efforts and has demonstrated professionalism, exceptional leadership, and determined focus in maintaining continuous operations aimed at reducing violence in our city. Where are you at? Eric, thank you.
Thank you.
The successes we have achieved during the first 100 days of Operation Ceasefire are just a starting point. The Reading Police Department and our partner law enforcement agencies will continue these operations, targeting individuals who seek to bring violence to our streets. We will continue to use every means necessary to combat violence in our community, which includes engaging our community in the process of creating safe streets and neighborhoods. At this time, I'll introduce Trooper Dave Boehm from the Pennsylvania State Police, who will say a few words.
Good afternoon. We as an agency, the Pennsylvania State Police, are happy to assist the City of Reading and all of our law enforcement partners across the whole Commonwealth, with us coming out here and helping to saturate the city and make it a safer place. Not only do we make the city a safer place, but we also make the Commonwealth a safe place. And we're always here to be a part of the team to make things good.
At this time, I'll introduce Deputy Chief Dan Hite from the Berks County Adult Probation Office.
Good afternoon. I'd like to thank Chief Tornielli for inviting us and express our gratitude to our co-law enforcement agencies up here. I'd also like to express our thanks to the Berks County Courts. We certainly appreciate being involved in this, and we believe that collaboration is an ongoing key to success here. I'd specifically like to recognize the staff of the Berks County Adult and Juvenile Probation Office. Without their help, we could not be where we're at. It's a thankless job at times, and many of those people are unseen and unheard by the general public. Our field officers are out on almost a daily basis, working with the officers of these other agencies as well, and again, working tirelessly to assist with offenders whom we work with and protection of the community. While making arrests for our highest risk offenders and those under supervision, and continue to engage in criminal behavior as part of what we do, we also want to stress that the Berks County Probation and Parole Department is responsible for supervising over 7,000 adults and juveniles in Berks County alone. We continue to work with these offenders and develop the skills necessary to prevent them from reoffending. Lastly, I'd like to specifically thank two officers from our department, Brian Harding and Eric Burkholder, who head up our gang task force. They continue to develop strategies that will assist these other agencies as well. And Eric Burkholder is from Juvenile Probation. He's going to say a few things about the juvenile efforts here.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Dan. Chief Tornielli. I would also like to thank the officers for their daily commitment to community safety, as well as the probation and parole officers, who, while holding offenders they supervise accountable, continue to commit themselves to increasing their offenders' competencies through the use of evidence-based practices. While we can't fully arrest our way out of the problem, efforts such as this one promotes confidence in the community. However, one key component in combating the gang issue is targeting at-risk youths and diverting them into pro-social activities. Our goal, utilizing community resources, is to partner with the Olivet's Boys and Girls Club of Reading, the Reading School District, and the Reading Police Department to identify at-risk youths and get them involved in positive programming as a substitute to the gang lifestyle, all while helping them to understand the long-term benefits of not joining a gang and the potential long-term consequences if they do. Thank you. Chief.
That concludes our remarks for the press conference. We will take a few questions at this time.
Could you just run through the numbers again of the arrests and the guns that have been?
Yeah, absolutely. So during our operations, we've served 27 warrants for probation violations. We've made 28 additional misdemeanor arrests and 27 additional felony arrests. During the street-level operations, there was 178 traffic stops conducted, and during those details, 80 illegal firearms were seized. And that's in addition to the 91 firearms that were recovered as a result of the gun buyback on April 24th. Any other questions? All right, thank you for your time, and thank you for coming out this afternoon as we work through this process to make our city a safer place for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Hey, thank you. They knew you were here, Dave. They were like, there's somebody here that's got a lot of experience answering questions, so we're not going to mess around.
Absolutely. Anything we can do.
I can say no comment too.
Right.
Eric?
Good to see you, Master Trooper.
Yeah, you got it. All right, Reggie.
Good seeing you.
Yeah, take care. Yeah. You bet.
Thank you so much. Anytime.